cold wind rushed through the metal streets of New Terra City, carrying dust, old smoke, and the taste of coming rain. The night lights flickered on the tall buildings, but in the lower district, where broken workshops stood side by side, everything looked dim and tired. A lonely figure walked slowly on the cracked road. An alien woman named Lyra. She held her thin cloak tightly around her, trying to protect herself from the cold. Her hands were shaking not because of the weather, but because of fear and hunger. She had not eaten properly in 2 days, but she did not care about herself. Her 2 small children, waiting in a tiny metal room far away, had eaten even less. Lyra whispered to herself, "Just one job, any job. I must find work today." She had been searching since sunrise. It was now almost night. White medium star the hook, a night of rejection. Lyra walked to the first workshop. The sign said Rago Metal Repair. She knocked softly. The door opened only a little, and a human man peeked out. "What do you want?" he asked in a cold voice. Lyra bowed politely. "Please, I am looking for work. I can clean, sort metal, carry boxes." The man closed the door before she finished speaking. She stood in silence for a moment before moving to the next workshop. "Knock. Go away. Knock. No aliens. Knock. Try somewhere else." Each rejection hit her harder. Her legs felt heavy. Her throat burned from holding back tears. No one cared that she was a widow. No one cared that 2 small children were hungry. No one cared about her heart. She was just an alien woman, and most humans in this district did not want aliens near their businesses. But Lyra kept trying. She reached a factory filled with smoke and sparks. She called out to a group of workers, but they didn't even look at her. One of them threw a metal bolt near her feet, making her step back in fear. Lyra walked away, feeling smaller with every step. Hours passed. Every workshop gave the same answer. Her hopes slowly died. Her chest felt tight like something inside her was breaking. Finally, she reached the very last workshop on the street. A small sign hung above the door. Evans Mechanical Repair, Old Machine Specialist. There was only one light on inside. She didn't expect much. Still, she lifted her tired hand and knocked. For a moment there was no sound. Then footsteps. Then the door slowly opened. A human man stood there, wearing a dirty work apron and holding a tool in his hand. His hair was messy, his face tired, but his eyes were calm and curious. He looked at her, not with fear, not with anger, not with disgust, but with genuine attention. Lyra swallowed. "Please, I just need a job," she said in a small, shaking voice. "I will do anything. I work hard. I learn fast. I have 2 children. They are hungry. Please, just give me a chance." Her voice cracked at the end. She hated showing weakness, but she could no longer hide it. The man did not close the door. He opened it wider. "Come inside," he said gently. White medium star inside the last workshop. Lyra stepped in carefully. The workshop smelled like oil, war metal, and burned circuits. Machines, engines, and metal parts were stacked in every corner, but it didn't feel dangerous. It felt safe. "Sit down," the man said. "You look cold." Lyra hesitated. No human had spoken kindly to her in weeks. The man continued, "My name is Evan. I am Lyra," she whispered. Evan nodded like he already knew she was telling the truth. He poured a metal cup of warm tea and handed it to her. Lyra stared at it, surprised. Most places refused even to let her stand near their doors, and here was a human offering her tea. Her hands trembled as she took the cup. The warmth felt like hope. "Tell me," Evan said softly, "what happened?" Lyra took a deep breath. "My husband died last winter," she began. "A machine explosion. He was working on a mining rig." Her voice shook. "Since then, nobody wants to hire me. They think aliens are trouble. They think I am weak. But I just want to feed my children." Evan watched her quietly, not interrupting. Lyra continued, "Today, I tried every workshop on this street. You are the last one. If I do not get work now, my children will sleep hungry again." Her eyes filled with tears she tried hard to hide. Evan leaned forward, his face serious. "You came to the right place," he said. "I don't care if you're alien or human. I care if you can work. That's all." Lyra's breath caught. Nobody had said such words to her in months. White medium star, a small test. Evan stood up and took her to the back area of the workshop. "Let's see what you can do," he said. He pointed to a box filled with different metal parts. Wires, bolts, joints. "Can you separate them by type?" "Slowly. Carefully. Some are very sharp." Lyra nodded. She knelt beside the box and began sorting. Her hands moved fast, far faster than Evan expected. She separated the pieces with such natural precision that Evan had to stop and stare. "How do you do it so quickly?" he asked. Lyra looked up shyly. "My people, we see small differences easily. It is normal for us." Evan smiled. "Well, it's not normal for humans." "You're good." Lyra felt heat rise in her cheeks. Nobody had praised her in a long time. He gave her another test, lifting a medium-sized engine piece. She lifted it easily. Evan raised an eyebrow. "Strong, too. That helps." Lyra lowered her gaze, embarrassed but relieved. "Next," he asked her to clean a workbench. She finished in minutes, faster and better than Evan expected. Finally, Evan crossed his arms and said, "You work better than half the humans I hired this year." Lyra blinked in disbelief. "So, I can work here?" Evan answered strongly, "Yes, come tomorrow morning. I'll give you a full trial day." For a moment, Lyra did not move. She just stared. Nobody had said yes to her in so long that she forgot how hope felt. Her voice broke. Thank you so much." Evan nodded. "Everyone deserves a chance. You deserve one too." White medium star, the silent danger. Lyra left the workshop with a small smile. Her steps felt lighter than they had all day. She imagined telling her children the good news. She imagined bringing food home. For the first time since her husband's death, her future did not feel impossible. But she didn't notice the 3 men standing in the shadows across the street. These were workers from another workshop, the same ones who rejected her in the morning. One of them spat on the ground. "So Evan hired the alien," he growled. Another cracked his knuckles. "We can't let her stay," he said. "Humans need the jobs, not some alien widow." The third one smiled slowly, an ugly smile. "Don't worry," he whispered. "Tomorrow we'll make sure she never comes back." Behind Lyra, in the darkness, danger was rising. She had found hope, but the world was not ready to let her keep it. Morning light spread slowly across New Terra City. The metal streets glowed a soft orange as the sun touched the rooftops. Small shops began to open, machines came alive with noise, and workers filled the district. Lyra walked carefully through the streets, holding her cloak close to her body. She had barely slept. Last night, she told her children the good news, that a human finally gave her a chance. Her children hugged her tightly, their small alien eyes shining with hope. She promised them, "Tomorrow I will work. Tomorrow we will eat." Now she stood in front of Evan's workshop, her heart beating fast with excitement and fear. She whispered to herself, "Please, let this day be good." She lifted her hand and knocked softly. The door opened at once. Evan stood there with a tired smile, wiping oil from his hands with a cloth. "You're early," he said. I didn't want to be late," Lyra replied. "Good. That shows you care." He stepped aside, letting her in. White medium star, the first task. Inside, Evan explained the plan. "This workshop is old," he said. "Everything needs attention. I'll give you different tasks and see how you handle them." Lyra nodded quickly. "I will do my best." Evan handed her a list written in simple handwriting. Organize the metal tools. Clean the old machines. Sort engine parts by size and function. Help repair a broken mining drill. Lyra read it carefully. It looked like a lot, but she was ready. She started with the tools. The workshop had hammers, cutters, wrenches, glowing plasma files, wire coils, hundreds of items scattered everywhere. She placed them all in perfect order, grouping by size and use. Evan watched from across the room and raised his eyebrows. You did that in 10 minutes? Lyra lowered her eyes. Is it wrong? No, Evan said with a chuckle. It's amazing. Her cheeks warmed. Next, she cleaned the old machines. She used simple tools but moved with speed and precision. She cleaned the surfaces, removed rust, replaced broken wires, and arranged them neatly. Evan shook his head in disbelief. You're doing better than people who worked here for months. Lyra felt a strange warmth in her chest. Praise was new to her. Trust was new to her. White medium star, the second task. After an hour, Evan brought her to the large table filled with engine parts. These are from an old mining drill, he explained. I need them sorted so I can find the right parts later. Lyra nodded and began working. Her alien hands were quick and steady. She picked up each part, studied it, and placed it in the correct section. She worked without stopping. Evan quietly stepped closer, curious to see how she identified the pieces so fast. How do you know which part goes where? He asked. Lyra smiled shyly. My people, we can sense shape differences better than humans. It is natural for us. Evan nodded, impressed. Well, it's natural but useful. Lyra continued sorting until everything was placed perfectly. White medium star moment of peace. Around midday, Evan handed her a lunchbox. She shook her head. No, I will work. It's not an option, he said firmly. You need to eat. She opened the box slowly. Inside was warm food, a simple human meal, soft bread and cooked vegetables. To her, it looked like a feast. She blinked rapidly, struggling not to show emotion. This is too much, she whispered. It's normal, Evan said casually. Workers should eat. But Lyra had not eaten like this in months. She ate slowly, savoring every bite. Evan pretended not to notice the tears at the corners of her eyes. White medium star, the trouble arrives. Just when the day seemed peaceful, the workshop door slammed open. 3 human workers entered, the same men who rejected Lyra yesterday. They walked inside with loud steps, pretending they had business there. Evan frowned. Can I help you? One of the men, a tall one with rough hands, smirked. We just want to see your new worker. The second man looked Lyra up and down. You hired her? You serious, Evan? The third laughed cruelly. We don't want aliens taking jobs from humans. Not in our area. Lyra kept her head down. She didn't want trouble. She just wanted to work. Evan stepped forward. She's here because she works harder than any of you. The men scowled. The tall one crossed his arms. You think she can fix machines? You think she belongs here? Evan spoke calmly. She belongs anywhere she works honestly. The men didn't like that. The tall one stepped closer to Lyra. Hey, alien, say something. Lyra stayed quiet. He leaned closer, his voice full of poison. Go back where you came from. Lyra's fingers tightened. Her heart pounded, but she did not speak. Evan moved between them. Get out, he said in a dangerous tone. You can't tell us. I set out. His voice echoed through the workshop. The men glared but slowly backed away. They walked out, but not before the tall one pointed a finger at Lyra. This isn't over, he growled. The door slammed shut behind them. Lyra exhaled shakily. Are you okay? Evan asked. I am fine, she said softly. I didn't want any fight. It's not your fault, Evan said. Some people hate what they don't understand. White medium star the accident. Later that afternoon, Evan brought Lyra to a heavy mining drill. Its engine was old, its wires messy, and its parts dangerous. We need to fix this before evening, Evan said. I'll repair the main line. You check the side wires. Lyra nodded. Together they worked quietly. Evan explained everything slowly, and Lyra listened carefully. She learned quickly. She remembered every detail, every instruction. But suddenly, bang! A small explosion burst from the side panel. Smoke filled the air. Evan coughed, waving the smoke away. It's fine. It's just a pressure line. I'll fix. The machine jerked sharply. A heavy metal beam above them began to fall. Evan froze. Lyra reacted instantly. Her alien instincts awakened. She grabbed Evan's arm and pushed him out of the way just as the metal beam crashed onto the floor where Evan had been standing. Evan stared at her, shock on his face. You saved me. Lyra breathed hard. I just moved. I did not think. Evan looked at the smashed beam and then at Lyra. If she had been a second late, he would have been injured badly, maybe worse. You're incredible, he whispered. Lyra looked away, embarrassed. I just did what anyone would do. No, Evan said firmly. Not anyone. You. For the first time in a long time, Lyra felt seen. Not as an alien, not as a burden, but as someone who mattered. White medium star, the ending suspense. Evening approached. The workshop was quiet again. Evan walked Lyra to the door. You did great today. Better than I hoped. Lyra's heart lifted. Really? Come again tomorrow. We'll continue. Lyra bowed slightly. Thank you for trusting me. She stepped outside, smiling softly. Inside the workshop, Evan cleaned the spilled tools and locked up, but he didn't notice the three jealous men watching from the far corner of the street. The tall man said quietly, She fits too well. Evan likes her too much. The second man spat on the ground. We'll fix that. The third man grinned dangerously. Tonight, we destroy that workshop, and tomorrow she'll be blamed. In the shadows of New Terra, trouble was growing. Lyra walked home with hope, but danger walked behind her, silent and ready. Night fell quietly on New Terra City, but in the lower district, trouble was already moving like a shadow. The three jealous workers, Menlo, Jax, and Rorik, walked through the empty streets with dark smiles. They reached Evan's workshop, checking to make sure no one was around. The street was silent. The lights were off. Perfect, Menlo whispered. He thinks an alien can do human jobs. Let's teach him a lesson. Jax nodded and cracked his knuckles. We break the place, blame the alien, and Evan fires her. Rorik grinned. Easy. With that, the men began their work. They broke the outer lock. They kicked open the door. They smashed tools, knocked over shelves, tore wiring, and broke machine parts. They wanted the place to look like the work of someone desperate, someone inexperienced, someone like Lyra. By the time they left, the workshop was a disaster. They didn't know this one mistake would change everything. White medium star the next morning, a heartbreaking sight. Lyra woke before sunrise. She prepared a small breakfast for her children, just a few pieces of bread and warm water. But today it didn't feel painful. Today she had hope. Today she had work. Her children hugged her tightly before she left. Come back safe, Mama, her little daughter whispered. Lyra kissed their small foreheads. I will. She walked quickly through the chilly streets, excitement rising inside her. Evan trusted her. For the first time in months, she felt capable and important. But when she reached the workshop, her heart dropped. The door was broken. The windows cracked. Tools scattered everywhere. Machines smashed. The inside looked like a storm had torn through it. Lyra froze. No. Her hands shook. Tears formed. She stepped inside slowly, staring at the destruction. It felt like someone had punched her chest. This was her workplace. Her chance. Her first piece of hope after months of misery. And now it looked ruined. Footsteps approached from behind. She turned. Evan stood there, staring at the mess with wide eyes. Evan, Lyra whispered. I just found it like this. I don't know what happened. Evan walked past her silently, looking at the destroyed shelves, overturned machines, and broken wires. He ran a hand through his hair. His jaw tightened. Lyra stepped back. What if he thought she did it? What if he believed the lies? What if she lost everything all over again? Her knees felt weak. She wanted to speak, but fear locked her throat. Before she could say anything, 3 voices came from the doorway. Well, someone destroyed your little workshop, Evan. Menlo, Jax, and Rorik entered with fake sad expressions. Jax pointed at Lyra. She was here early. Maybe too early. Rorik crossed his arms. Looks like an alien job to me. They panic, they break stuff. Lyra felt a sharp pain in her chest. No. I didn't. Menlo cut her off. You wanted the job so bad. Maybe you tried to take some tools to sell? Things went wrong. Lyra shook her head, tears falling. I didn't do anything. Please believe me. Evan looked from the men to Lyra. Lyra held her breath. This moment would decide her future. White medium star, the human who believed. Evan stepped next to Lyra. He looked the three men directly in the eyes. Get out. Menlo frowned. What? Evan's voice grew sharp. I told you, get out of my workshop. Jack scoffed. You think she didn't do this? Evan stood firmly. She saved my life yesterday. She works harder than anyone I've hired, and she has more honesty in her than all three of you together. Lyra stared at him, shocked. He believed her. Evan pointed to the door. Leave. Now. Rorik growled. You're protecting an alien over humans? Evan didn't move. I'm protecting someone who deserves it. The men glared, but Evan didn't back down. Finally, they left with angry curses. When the door closed, Lyra collapsed to her knees, crying softly. I thought you would believe them, she whispered. I thought I would lose the job. I thought everything would be gone. Evan knelt beside her. Lyra, listen to me. I know what kind of person you are. You're strong, hardworking, and honest. I trust you. Lyra covered her face with her hands. Those words felt like sunlight after a long winter. White medium star the fight back. After Lyra calmed, Evan stood up. We are not letting them win, he said. We fixed this. But everything is broken, Lyra murmured. That just means we fix it piece by piece. Evan replied confidently. Together, they began cleaning the workshop. Evan repaired the broken lock. Lyra swept the floor and arranged fallen tools. They fixed wires, lifted machines, and slowly rebuilt the place. Hours passed. Sweat covered their faces. Their hands were dirty. Their arms ached. But the workshop slowly returned to life. Lyra lifted a heavy metal panel easily, something Evan struggled with. You're stronger than you look, he said with a smile. Lyra gave a small smile back. Only a little. At one point, while fixing a bench shelf, they accidentally touched hands. Both froze for a moment, surprised. Evan looked away quickly and continued working, but the small moment stayed warm in Lyra's heart. White medium star the confrontation. By afternoon, the workshop was nearly repaired. But then the door burst open again. Menlo, Jax, and Rorik stormed in, this time angrier than before. You think you can just ignore us? Menlo shouted. We're not done. Jax barked. Rorik grabbed a metal bar. Evan stepped forward. Leave now. They didn't listen. Menlo pushed Evan back. Lyra's heart pounded. She stepped forward. Quickly. Stop, she shouted. The men laughed. Menlo swung the metal bar, but Lyra caught it with her bare hands. Her alien strength locked it in place. The men stared in shock. She pushed Menlo back with surprising force. Jax charged at her, but she sidestepped and he fell over a toolbox. Rorik tried to grab Evan, but Lyra moved between them. Her eyes glowed faintly, an alien instinct activating. You will not touch him, she said firmly. The men hesitated. This was not the weak widow. They thought she was. Security arrived moments later. Evan had activated the silent alarm. The three men were arrested for destruction of property and attempted assault. As they were dragged away, Jax shouted, You'll regret this. But Lyra no longer looked afraid. White medium star the new beginning. When the security officers left, Evan turned to Lyra. You saved me again, he said quietly. You believe me, she replied just as softly. I had to protect you. For a moment, they simply looked at each other. Two very different souls who had faced danger together and come out stronger. Evan broke the silence. Lyra, I want you to stay. Not just today. Not just for a trial. I want you as my full-time worker. Lyra's eyes filled with tears. Really? Yes, Evan said. You earned it, and you deserve it. Lyra couldn't speak. She nodded, wiping her tears. White medium star final scene. Hope returns. That evening, Lyra brought her children to the workshop. The two small alien kids ran to Evan and hugged his legs. "Thank you for helping our mother," they said in their soft voices. Evan smiled warmly. "Your mother is strong. She saved me." Lyra looked at him with deep gratitude. A soft warmth grew between them. Something new, something gentle, something hopeful. For the first time since her husband's death, Lyra felt safe. She felt valued. She felt like her life could begin again. And Evan felt something too, a quiet respect, a deep admiration, and the beginning of something he didn't fully understand yet. But one thing was clear. Two different worlds had met, and both were better because of it.